Welcome once again to Media Monday. I'm Matt Janik. This is Brian Fazzino. He is the head swimming coach here at Franklin Pearson. Brian, let's jump right into it. We've been catching up with our new coaches as we go through the first few weeks here, and your program is brand new. You're not just a new coach; the whole program is new. So take us through. You've been here, a year plus now. Take us through that first year, just of building the program.
Absolutely.
What was the process like to get ready for this fall?
So I was hired June of 2016. Came in. I had basically a whole year just to recruit, and it was just me, myself, and I in a small little office. Obviously, you guys know. And it was every day. It was constant emails and phone calls, and basically that first job, that first goal was to just get a team. And so we ended up bringing in 12 freshmen, and 11 are still on the team, and now we're just kind of working from there. We have a couple that are going to walk on, that play other sports, that are going to also swim, but they're off our sports, so we haven't really seen them yet. So we're just basically kind of focusing on that 11, and then just kind of building up from there, trying to get another big class in, and hopefully grow the program from there. It was a lot of administrative stuff the first year, obviously the recruiting, but also getting the suits, getting the meet schedule, figuring out who we're actually going to swim, what teams will, because we don't have a pool on campus, so it's all away meets. So who will host us and where we have to go, where we have to travel to. And then just kind of playing and figuring out budget numbers of what and where we have to purchase, and what type of equipment, what type of suits, what do we have in that regard. Setting up the Under Armour shop so that they can purchase their own gear and stuff like that. So it's now it's a lot more day to day with the kids. Any given moment is someone's in my office meeting with me, but it's still that recruiting can't end. That has to still be on it. We have the meets going, we have practice going every day, but we still need to recruit because we still need another big class. So this fall has been a lot more timing than last year. Last year I had a lot of free time to do what I wanted just because I was doing computer and going to meets and stuff, but it was on my own time. Now it's like, okay, I have to get that stuff done while I have practice. I have dry land, I have weights, I have everything else that goes into the everyday life of coaching that everyone else got to deal with every day last year.
All right. You started to touch on kind of roster construction there a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about that. Obviously, it's a very young roster, which is the norm for a first year program. Talk about some of the challenges of dealing with a roster that largely hasn't been college athletes before.
It's challenges is the word I would use. It's every day there's something new that comes up that I didn't think of, and it's the little things like just discipline and responsibility. Stuff like that, everything I think they might know, I have to really educate them on. And it's because it is so young. It is such a young, heavy, dominant team. We don't have captains because they're all freshmen. We're all in this together. We're all brand new. And it's the first couple of weeks we were definitely going through this kind of leadership void. And I could definitely see that they needed something. They were sheep. They were followers, but no one was really pushing them and helping them lead. And that I think my assistant and I, we have to do a better job, and we've been trying to do a better job of more educating and not just yelling, not going to the well of like screaming, but just explaining what we want, and maybe that might actually, and I think that's been, the last couple of weeks have been a lot better. We've been doing a lot more talking, a lot more, again, educating, and it is difficult. It's challenging in the sense that these first 2 years are going to be pretty hard because it's going to be a bunch of freshmen and sophomores, and we all know on a college campus, freshmen, they're not dumb. They're just uneducated. They might get into stupid decisions because they just haven't done it yet. And with our team, we have kids from all over the place. So we have kids from I think 11 kids, 10 different states, and 4 of them from the West Coast. So we have a girl from Alaska, a girl from Washington, a girl from Colorado, a girl from Texas, a girl from California, a couple girls from Mass, a couple girls from Connecticut, couple East Coast kids, New Yorkers. So we have, not only are they're all young, none of them know each other, they're all from all different parts of the nation, which is great. I think in the future that's going to be a positive to get that experience for them. But right now, it's just they're all kind of the first couple weeks they were trying to feel the ropes, not only with me, but with each other, and feel what they have with what kind of teammates, who's going to be their good friends, who or they may not get along with. So it's been constant. And then on top of that, they have obviously classes, and they have a really structured schedule. We have study all day 2 days a week. We have weights 2 days a week. We have dry land 2 days a week, and then we have swimming 6 days a week. So we've been very structured, which I think is good for young swimmers, but it's also they haven't had a chance to not be part of the swim team. Like I think they need to also be part of the community, be part of the school, and that will help them kind of establish who they are themselves, and then they can bring that to the swim team.
All right. Speaking of establishing, you're 4 meets in now, so you've got really a solid month of actual competition under your belt. As the head coach, what are your impressions with your team through that first month?
I think it's a great question. We won 2 meets a couple weeks ago, and we had a shot to win against one of the same teams this past weekend. And for being we have 15 on the roster, I don't think we've had more than 8 swim. So we've already going into the meet, we're already down because we just don't have the numbers. So I was very impressed with that meet that we were able to do so well. I've been impressed with the way the culture is coming. The first couple meets were very rough, and then once we started explaining, the last couple meets have been much better. So I am excited, and that's what I tell them. I don't know talent wise or depth wise. I don't know if we have what we want yet. I think where we are now and where we're going to be at the end of the year, it's going to be 2 different teams. I think we'll have a couple of the kids that we're going to get back. I think will help, and I think that it'll be a much different team. But I tell them, I was like, I don't know where we're going to be for results wise, but what I care about is the culture and what we do at each meet. That's what I want to establish this year, so that next year going in, they all know, and then it's just indoctrinating the new freshmen into the program as well. And that's what I think. That's our goals. That's what we sat down as a team and set our goals. And that was more the goals were culture things. Like, what can we do? Listening, getting into warm up, getting into cool down, putting on your cap the right way, wearing your warm ups, wearing your clothes a certain way. That stuff we can all finalize this year. And obviously, this is kind of a guinea pig year anyway, so we're going to kind of go, what do we like, what do we not like, what do we need to change? But those little things, those detailed things, I think we could really establish in each meet is practice for that. That's what we'll kind of... And then, obviously the racing as well, hopefully, once in a while we'll get a couple good close races and try to establish what we want in that.
All right. So that said, over the rest of the year, what happens to make it a successful year for you? What would you consider a successful year?
That's another great question. I think we beat Kobe Sawyer, that was one of the meets I really wanted to. We have Norwich, that was my alma mater, and that's another one I think that's the last meet before championships. That's another one I think we have a good shot at. So if we can pull a good meet there, but I think successful year, we'll look back on. I have in my office our goals, and if we can accomplish those goals, and it's the cultural things. It's the listening directions, showing up on time, showing up to practice, communicating. That's what I want. I want to see the team grow in that and grow kind of maybe towards the end of the year, start growing into leadership roles. Start seeing where when I let them vote maybe at the end of the season to have kids that they think that they can be a captain for next year, and to establish the culture, and then to have that team bonding, and that's the big thing that I'm looking for is to, and we haven't really gotten there, to have the team cheering on each other at the meets and not having me tell them, and to huddle up for a relay and be excited with each other, and that we're almost there, I think. But when I see that and they do that on their own without me having to prompt it, that's when I think it's really going to start turning around.
Right, that makes sense. Wanted to highlight Maggie Miller here real quick.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
She was the NE10 Rookie of the Week a week ago. Talk about her performance so far this year.
She's doing well. She's coming in with a couple big injuries. So she actually had double knee surgery, I think 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. So she's physically can't get through a full practice. But what she has been doing, she's been very good at. We've been able to adjust, and I've been able to explain to her, okay, let's do this, this, and this fast. And for the most part, she can do that. She's also been very sick. The entire team's been very sick. But so she's been, without the training level of where we want her to be, just the endurance level she knows she can't handle. She's been actually training really well, and her times right now are actually right on where they need to be. Looking at where we want to go and where we want to get her for the end of the season, what her goals are. I think she's right where she needs to be. A little bit more tweaking here and there, and I think at the end of the year, come January, February, she'll be hitting the time she wants.
Awesome. Now, last but certainly not least on Media Monday, we ask everybody to share a little fun fact about themselves. So,
Fun fact.
what don't people know about Brian Fazzino?
I think my fun fact, I use this with my kids too, is that I was able to play in both the Disney World nighttime parade and the inauguration parade as a trombone. I was I guess pretty big band geek in high school and college, and that's two things that not a lot of people get to do, and I was able to do it, and that was kind of cool.
That's awesome. So he's a musician and a swim coach. That's Brian Fazzino on Media Monday. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Thank you.